How many times have you had somebody say, I'd like to go deer hunting. I want to try it out. Can I go with you? Now, usually the first thing that I'm going to say comes to my mind is no. Okay, no, you're not going with me. Sometimes I consider it. Well, if you're going to take somebody hunting, we're going to go with deer hunting right now, or introduce them to the sport or whatever you want to call it. There are some do's and don'ts. Number one, let's deal with safety. When you're teaching somebody to hunt, especially children, I don't want to put a firearm in their hand that has a hammer on it. I don't want them to have a lever action. I don't want them to have a single shot. Simply for the fact that their hands are not trained real well for cocking and decocking the weapon. Pretty simple. Hey, after they get to learn to use it, they're just fine. But not at first. I'd rather hand them a semi-automatic. What are you, nuts? You going to hand a little kid a semi-automatic? Sure I am. And I'm going to be in control of the ammunition. And that semi-automatic will be a single shot because I'll only give them one bullet or cartridge to put in at a time. Bolt actions are fine. Pumps are fine. Even a semi-auto, as long as you control what's going on. Okay. Next thing you want to do if you're going to introduce somebody to hunting, you got to have them wear decent clothing. It makes no sense if you're going to take somebody out in the cold, especially kids, if they have ratty clothing. I mean, bring a blanket and wrap them in it or whatever. A lot of people aren't going to spring for extra clothes for their kids. They'll give them hand-me-downs and stuff like that. And hey, if they were good clothes, that's fine. But a lot of times, clothing the kids have just isn't good enough unless you buy kids' hunting clothing. So, you have to take that into consideration. Next one. Kids and new people, a lot of times are going to get cold because they've never really been cold until you've been cold out deer hunting. Or wet and cold out deer hunting. So, you have to pay attention to them, and when they say, yeah, I think I had enough, yeah, the day's over, time out, yep, going home, no problem. You don't yell at them, you don't roll your eyes, you don't give a heavy, any of that. You just pack up and you take them home. Next thing you want to do, you probably don't want to take somebody new out hunting that's going to really be physically challenging themselves. You don't know what their fitness level is or isn't. I mean, unless they're one of these American Ninja Warrior guys that fly down and crawl up trees and stuff, you don't want to go beyond their physical abilities. It's a negative experience. Same thing with kids. They have a short stride. They might have to walk 2 or 3 steps for every step that you take. So getting them 2.5 miles up into the back country of a public land or something, it probably ain't going to fly, dude. It's not going to work well. So take these tips I laid out for you, and a lot of it might be common sense, but as deer hunters, we don't always have common sense. Till next time, I'm Steve.